How's it going, Internet? Welcome to this week's edition of Two Nerds, a Podcast. I'm Buddy the Bruiser.
And I'm Dynamite Jared Latchy.
And how's it been going this week, Jared? I know we both had pretty interesting weeks this week.
You've had an interesting week. I haven't heard from you. I thought you maybe died.
Been working a lot.
Potentially
dead.
I've had an interesting week. Those of you that have followed me on Twitter, which is nobody that listens to this podcast.
You haven't gained any followers yet.
I've gained a couple followers, but I don't think they're as a result of this podcast. So I will continue to campaign on this podcast to follow me on Twitter at Dynamite Jared. But those of you that have been following me this week have noticed that I've posted some cryptic, slightly depressing tweets at times.
Very depressing.
Very depressing at times. So, that's a thing. Wild week.
Wild week.
A wild, wild week. Fitting, though, is that this week, or actually last week, after we recorded a podcast.
Soon as we wrapped up our podcast, I think I drove home, immediately got on Facebook, and there was a new Metallica song that had been uploaded.
A new Metallica song, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. And this album comes out
November, I believe.
November 25th.
I will get an exact date by the time we are done talking about it. I will get the exact date.
So I've listened to the song once. How many times have you listened to it?
Probably about 6.
6 times.
Probably about 6 times.
Is it to a point where you're listening for pleasure, or are you still analyzing it?
Still analyzing. Very much so.
It seems musically
November 16th.
That's
available everywhere.
Hardwired 9 days earlier than November 25th. Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Is that the name of the album?
That's the name of the album. The song is just called Hardwired.
Oh, okay.
So, the album...
Have you seen the album cover?
Oh, I have.
It appears to be Ja Rule.
appears to be.
Apparently, Ja Rule is making a cameo appearance on the new Metallica album.
So, this track dropped somewhat out of nowhere. I listened to it, and my initial thoughts are, song is jammy as fuck, lyrics are absolute trash.
So, who would have thought that quitting drinking to stop consuming alcohol would make James Hetfield a worst lyricist? I guess that's just how it goes.
Like, when I first heard the chorus to this song, it did not feel like I was listening to Metallica. It honestly sounded like I was listening to some band that was in your kitchen or something, just fucking swearing in the chorus. Like, when I think of Metallica, like, I don't think of phenomenal lyrics, but I don't think of, like, what does he say? He's like, we're so fucked, shit out of luck. That's some wasted chaos shit right there, dog.
I don't even know if that's wasted chaos. That sounds like some fucking Man Overboard lyrics or something. Some sort of pop punk band that's, I don't know. It seems like a gang chant that would end up in some pop punk song or something.
I could see that, yeah.
It's kind of corny. Yeah, I mean, he's never been the best lyricist on the planet. And I'll say that if we go back to Kill 'Em All, there are definitely there's definitely some cheesy lyrics, but then we moved on to, like, by the time they got around to Master of Puppets, it was pretty solid lyrically. Nothing really cheesy and nothing kind of just solid lyrics. And this is just really straightforward, cheesy, but musically is kind of a return to form.
Yeah, I would say the music definitely is what the fans have wanted for a while. We kind of got teased a little bit about 2 years ago, I believe, with Lords of Summer.
I thought that song was good.
Which I thought it was a pretty good... Again, that song, not the best lyrics, I would say. But it was definitely a return to formula. Definitely the best thing Metallica put out to that point within the last, 10 years or so. I thought it was better than...
Do you think that Lords of Summer is going to end up on this album?
I don't know, because, that came out in, 2014?
It was a little bit ago, but do you remember, shortly after Death Magnetic...
The Beyond Magnetic? Is that what you're talking about?
No, they started playing these new songs live that weren't on anything.
I don't recall.
They started playing... It reminded me of being in a band with Miles, because, the songs weren't finished. And Miles would always be like, "Hey, let's play this show." And I'd be like, "Man, we don't even have a fucking bass player." Or, just like the songs, the lyrics weren't done. Nothing was finished. And he always wanted to play. And so Metallica, a little bit after Death Magnetic dropped, they started playing these 2 or maybe just 1 new song live. And you can't make this up, man. The lyrics weren't done. And James said, "Hey, the lyrics aren't done, so just kind of bear with me on this." And like the beginning of the song was literally James just going, "Whoa, whoa, 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 yeah, whoa, whoa," just like
typical Metallica.
Typical James Hetfield
just
stuff. Yeah, whoa. So I remember those, and I remember the song actually not being that bad, but I just remember the whoa, whoa, like.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so new Metallica song, but we don't stop there, buddy. That is not the only new music. This past week, I believe, American Football has dropped a new song and announced a new album.
Fucking ridiculous.
For next month, or October. October 21st?
Yeah, yes, I believe.
October 21st.
I had it right here, and then I exit out of it. October 21st.
American
first
fucking
album
football.
In 17 years.
First new music in 17 years. So there's been no EPs, no nothing. American Football went on into hiatus back in '99, I guess. They have kind of a weird history. They barely ever played live as it is, but I went and saw American Football. Was it last year or the year before?
I think it was like 2 years ago. They had that in
Chicago.
Yeah,
they had like that 3-day thing, and I went and saw one of the shows there. Probably, if not the best, definitely one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. But man, they've been kind of touring a little bit and playing shows, like printing merch and stuff. I still didn't expect a new album. I thought they were just kind of like going to go off their old success. So we have this new song. And what you just listened to? I just listened to it for the first time.
I thought it was decent. It reminded me a lot of some of the projects that what's the singer's name again?
Mike Kinsella.
Some of his projects that he's been doing in recent years, like Owen and some of the other stuff that he's been doing with Evan Weiss, definitely reminded me a lot of that. I don't know. What did you?
The vocals did sound very Evan Weiss-y.
Yeah,
but it's not him.
It's not him.
I thought it sounded enough like American Football. I thought instrumentally it sounded a lot like American Football, but the vocals are different. The vocals are a little different, but like...
To me, I'm glad that it sounds as different as it does, because within 17 years' time, there's obviously going to be a lot of change, not only in the music industry, but change in just the people that they are. So I'm glad that the music has evolved.
I like it. I think that a lot of people are disappointed with it, that they just wanted another self-titled, but it's different. I think it'll grow on a lot of people that are disappointed in it, and it's only one song. We still need to hear the rest of the fucking album, and I don't really think it's that different. I think that maybe the production values have changed a lot.
Obviously, the production values.
So, like, back in the old American Football, the way it was mixed, like, those vocals aren't really at the forefront. They're really quiet, and they're, like, they're there.
The guitar is the most emphasis in the old one.
The guitar is the most emphasized thing, but I thought musically it still sounded similar. Vocally, it's like, the vocals are a lot louder now, and they're a lot cleaner, at the forefront and more cleaner.
Like, you can tell that there's some production on the vocals.
Yeah, so
probably.
I think it sounds good. I'm really excited for the album. I'm probably gonna guaranteed love it, and fucking probably serious shot to be my album of the year. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and I didn't think it was gonna happen. But.
So would you because both these albums that we're talking about come out in 2016? Which one do you think you're gonna like better, American Football?
I'm definitely going to like American Football better.
Definitely.
Metallica could put out another Master of Puppets. I'm just not excited for it anymore. It's... I don't think that you could possibly ever reach what they did before again, and it's just... I'm not excited for new Metallica in 2016. It can sound good all at once, but it's just like...
You have all that you need to hear.
I could just go back to Master Puppets. And I mean, I guess I could just go back to American Football Self-Titled, but that's the only fucking album.
Right.
That's what, 9, 10 songs?
I think it's less, maybe.
Like,
I don't know. And they have like 2 EPs or something that were before that.
They have like the special edition of the Self-Titled, and they have the EP that has like
4 songs or something.
3 songs. It's 5 Silent Miles. Whatever.
Couple more.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember them but there's not. I don't know. I'm just more excited for it. Metallica is
glad to see they're still doing stuff like 30 years
later.
They're
gonna make $1 million out. They're gonna make $1 million, a piece, more than that on this album, and so good for them. I just can't envision myself listening to a new Metallica album in 2016 and just getting really excited about it. And plus, I mean, like we said, like it's the best thing they've put out in a long time, but it still has a lot of shortcomings. It's still really nothing compared to what they did in their heyday. Whereas American Football, the production values changed. But that's about it. Like, lyrically, it's basically the same. Musically, it's basically the same. It's like, it's more of what I loved about American Football, except it's just a little bit different, which is good. You need to change in the music industry. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's going to get boring. So, all right. We talked about that for 10 fucking minutes.
Well, that's good. So now we're headed on to... Are we just jumping straight into the main event of this podcast?
We have a lot of wrestling to talk about. Those of you who are not wrestling fans, turn this shit off right now. We will see you next week, and we will be talking about other stuff, hopefully. I don't even know what... I have no idea what the fuck we're going to talk about next week.
They released the new... What Pennywise is going to look like in the new It remake.
I thought that's been out.
Has it?
Well, I mean, we can still talk about it next week.
I don't know. Well, comment on this video before you guys fucking leave because you don't give a shit about SummerSlam. Leave us in the comments what you want us to talk about next week.
We'll get a comment from Ricky. It says video games.
Video games. Talk about the swashbucklers.
All right, so.
Speaking of which, Ricky is now, he's caught the podcast bug, wants to start his own podcast. So, that's a thing.
All right, so, all right, SummerSlam weekend. We have a lot to fucking talk about here. This is going to be a long session. So...
We start with NXT TakeOver.
NXT TakeOver on Saturday night. I watched a lot of wrestling this past weekend.
Yeah.
If we miss anything, I guess it just didn't really stick.
Didn't stick, yeah.
But I think that I can make it through NXT TakeOver. I think I can remember the matches that took place there, so let's.
I remember I remember the finishes. Obviously, I remember
what opened the show.
What opened the show? It was No Way Jose's conga line.
Okay, No Way Jose versus Austin Aries.
And did you notice that the very first person?
The very first person in the line was wearing an Austin Aries t-shirt. I noticed that immediately and mentioned it. Nobody else thought it was a big deal, a lot of the people I was watching with. So, yeah, Austin Aries goes over No Way Jose. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was decent. It made Austin Aries look stronger than he already does. I mean, he's already pretty established. No Way Jose was decent, I suppose. I don't really hate him as much as a lot of people probably hate him. But yeah,
I feel like the NXT crowd actually kind of likes him, which I think is weird because I don't. I don't like him. But he impressed me in this match with his ring work. I thought that he came out of this match looking better than
Austin Aries.
Well, not better than Austin Aries.
Better than
Austin
he came
went
in.
over, but he came out of the match better than he went in. Is that Austin Aries made him look pretty good in this match. But man, just this whole dancing gimmick, man. And the name No Way Jose, like the whole package is just not for me. I don't like it. And there were a couple of near falls in this match where I thought maybe No Way Jose was actually going to go over on Aries. And I just don't think that that's a good move. I think that Aries brings some star power to your NXT roster. and he hasn't gotten really any high-profile wins up until this point on NXT. So I thought it was important that he won this match, and I really don't have much else to say about it. He won. It was a decent match, and
yeah, I mean, it opened the show. It wasn't too noteworthy. I wasn't bored. I don't think I was bored, at least. But yeah. So the next match of the night was the debut of Ava Moon. Was that her name?
Ember Moon.
Ember Moon. Yeah, what did you have to say about this match? Anything?
Impressive debut for Ember Moon. It was just a showcase match. They've been building up Billie Kay for a couple of weeks now. She's been taking out like some of her opponents on NXT TV, kind of setting her up for the fall against Ember Moon. And that's really all this was. I think Billie Kay might have got in a little bit too much offense in this match, but
I thought her offense was overall just pretty sloppy in general.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with her beyond this. If they were just setting her up to take the fall here, that seems like what the situation was with her. Ember Moon, we saw that Bayley came up to the main roster on Monday after all that. Ember Moon seems to be the only credible woman left in NXT not named Asuka. I don't see Ember Moon dethroning Asuka anytime soon.
Probably not.
We'll get more to this later. So, Ember Moon makes her debut. Impressive offense. I still need to know a little bit more about the character. What is she, a fucking werewolf or something?
She's got those eyes, those contacts. What did you think of the, I don't know what the move is technically called.
So the finish, that 360 stunner off the top was awesome. That was a great move, a great finisher. I was impressed. I don't know. I look forward to seeing what they do with this girl, see if she gets any mic time or anything. I thought that when she came out, she started off as like kind of this mysterious like girl with the mask and everything. But then she takes off her mask and then she's just all hyped up.
Right.
Like every other fucking like jabroni girl on the roster, or jabroni guy, or just any jabroni wrestler, you know what I mean? When they come out and they don't really have a gimmick, they're just, I'm really excited.
They're just happy to be there.
I thought she was just a little bit too excited to be there. I thought that,
she didn't stick to her character.
Like, its name is Ember fucking Moon, for Christ's sake. Like,
she didn't
She needs to be a little bit more mysterious, like, kind of like, oh, what's this girl's deal? You know what I mean? Like, really good in the fucking ring, but, what's going on? Like,
right.
She did the whole thing in the match where she, like, looked at her and her eyes were all that color and stuff. They got the shot of her eyes, and she did that thing where she was, like, laughing at her or howling at her, or growling at her, or what the fuck, whatever it was. So, I don't know.
But it kind of takes you out of it when she's just being hyped.
Just acting like any other competitor. It takes me out of it. I'd like to see her be a little bit more mysterious and kind of stick to that character.
So, right after that match, we had the match between Bobby Roode, the glorious man, and Andrade Almos.
Cien Andrade Almos. So let's talk about Bobby Roode's entrance. Holy shit. I've been saying this since he debuted, and I don't know if I said it on this podcast or not. I love Bobby Roode's entrance music. That's probably one of the best entrance songs in wrestling today right now. And it just fits his character so well. And it sounds kind of like Queen or something.
Right, yeah.
So, it's really epic and really good, and I love it. And just this whole thing with the platform that came down and the light shining on him and everything. Man, just that whole entrance was just badass. And it was just so... I don't know. It just really just showed how into himself this character is. And it was just a really great entrance.
It took him a long time to get there because he's been involved for 19 years.
He was wrestling in TNA for a long time. And, he's done various other things. And then He tweeted out a photo after that match
with Triple H.
So
in the
yeah,
back.
he played like a security guard for Triple H back in like 2000 or 2001, and then like went to TNA or whatever and did his thing there. Now he's back in the WWE as a player in NXT, and yeah, I thought that Andrade was just. He was, I mean, this guy's a great worker in the ring, but he's just outshined by Bobby Roode, the veteran, as he should be. But I mean, just from like a charisma standpoint, a showmanship standpoint. And yeah, so I thought that Bobby Roode really outshined Andrade. And the match itself,
honestly, I don't remember too much from that.
It wasn't really that much, and as far as an in-ring debut for Bobby Roode, I was expecting a little bit more. His finish kind of left a little bit to be desired for me, that kind of pump handle slam thing that he did. They're calling it the Glorious Bomb.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not sure.
Isn't there another move called the Glorious Bomb?
I don't know.
There used to be.
His finish in TNA used to be called the Roode Bomb, but I kind of bounced out of TNA before he really went singles, and so I don't really recall ever seeing what the Roode Bomb was in TNA, if it was just that pump handle slam kind of deal that he did, and they're just calling it the Glorious Bomb now. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. I should have looked it up before I came on this podcast and sounded like an idiot.
We did basically no research for this podcast. We watched this shit a week ago, listened to this shit
Should have Miles. This would have been the perfect week to have Miles on as a guest, because he's the biggest Bobby Roode fan, and he would have known
everything
right off the top of the fucking show. Like that, yeah, that was the same finish. But all in all, the match didn't really do that much for me. I was really crazy about the entrance, and Bobby Roode, I'm excited to see where he goes from here.
Cool. So next match that was on the card was probably my favorite match of that night. Jared is nodding his head in agreement, I'm assuming. It was the tag team match between the Revival and Gargano and Ciampa.
I'm telling you what, man, this match overachieved. I wasn't expecting that much coming into this match. I expected a good match because both of these teams can work their ass off. But Jesus Christ, man.
There were so many false finishes in this match. I almost had a goddamn heart attack.
But they were timed perfectly, though. They really worked this match. And I remember kind of like about 5 minutes into this match, I was kind of out of it. They were kind of working like a formula match. But what they were really doing was building to this insane finish to this match that they were going to go into. And when they hit that next gear, holy fucking shit, it was on. This was a great match. This is one of the best tag matches I've seen in a while.
This is probably the best tag match of the year so far, at least.
Yeah. And, man, and a lot of these false finishes were really believable. I thought Gargano and Ciampa had this match on several occasions. I thought that they were going to do it. The only thing that I'm nitpicking in this match is that near the end, Dash Wilder, I believe, he took like fucking 14 super kicks, and he just kept getting right back up to get into the next spot in the match. And it just kind of took me out of it a little bit. He just got super kicked off a fucking apron, and then 2 seconds later, he's sliding back into the ring to break up a pin and then set up for the finish. Another thing that I didn't like, and I'm just nitpicking here because I agree, this was probably the best match of the night. Near the end, when Johnny Gargano is in that leg hold after they kind of demolished the knee.
Right, yeah.
He is close enough to the ropes where he could reach out and grab them. He's right there. And it was kind of a misplacement on their part. You could tell he could obviously reach out and grab the ropes, but he had to sit there and pretend like he couldn't reach, and then just started tapping out from the pain. But those are my two gripes with the match. Other than that, fantastic match.
So question, did you think you were going to see a heel turn
in this match? I'm not going to lie. I thought that Tommaso Ciampa was going to turn on Johnny Gargano when it was all said
I'm just waiting for when he's going to snap.
I think that they're going to keep it going for a little bit longer. I don't know who else the Revival can face right now. There's that other tag team, TM65 or whatever the hell their name is. I have no interest in them whatsoever. But that's about it. Authors of Pain, but they're heels. So I don't know where we go from there. But yeah, this was a great match. I mean, what do you have to say about it?
I mean, yeah, it was a great match. I would have liked to see Gargano and Ciampa go over, but it was still a great match. I don't know. Do you think if they do break them up, they're just going to bring them up to the Cruiserweight division on Raw?
I think that if you break them up, they're going to feud on NXT for a little bit. I think that Gargano could benefit from a good singles run on NXT. But you'll keep these guys as a tag team for right now. NXT has a decent amount of star power still, with Samoa Joe still there.
For now.
Nakamura, Aries, Bobby Roode. Yeah, well, for now, because all these guys have got to get called up to the main roster. They're all main roster ready as it is, and they're just kind of being held at NXT because they want this to be like a touring brand, and they need star power to draw money. So I think that you keep Gargano and Ciampa together for right now, but once you start calling some of these guys up to the main roster, there's Nakamura's and Joe's, that you're going to need some singles guys, and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa have both shown they can work really good singles matches, and that I think that they would still benefit from some time doing that singles run in NXT to really establish who they are as individuals. And then, you get like a really good like babyface versus heel feud in NXT out of Gargano and Ciampa, and then they can kind of like carry the brand after some of these bigger stars leave.
Move up, yeah. So the next match was the singles match for the women's division championship with Asuka and Bayley. And this match, I'm not gonna lie, I was probably half paying attention to it because I knew Bayley was not going to win. So I was not too invested in it. I was like, all right, she's gonna be moving up very soon, and this is probably her last match.
That was my prediction going in, but there was still a lot of skepticism. A lot of people believed that Bayley, since she won the women's title in the Barclays Center last year, was going to do the redemption story and come back and do the bounce back win and take out Asuka. Honestly, now that I'm looking at the women's division without Bayley, maybe not a stupid move, but you got to keep Asuka strong, and her going over here is just, man, it's the only way that I could see it happening. So, yeah, Asuka winning. I thought that they outdid their last match, and I think that they had a good match, a good, like, hard-hitting, serious match.
Cool.
And you were just only half paying attention.
I was kind of half paying attention.
All right, so I mean, yeah, it was a good match, and I like both girls. I'm glad that Bayley finally got the call out. I'm glad that Asuka is still undefeated and she's the women's champion. And so that's really all I have to say about this. Good match.
So now we do have a new NXT champion with Shinsegae Nakamura. What did you think of this main event?
So the main event underachieved, in my opinion. It was a great match, but I was expecting a little bit more, and I think that they're saving that for Joe's rematch that'll probably be at the next TakeOver. But I was not... I guess I was disappointed in this match, but...
Were you just overhyped?
I was just overhyped, I guess. I hyped it up a little bit too much, and it didn't meet my lofty expectations. But both of these guys still worked their ass off. And what both of these guys did, and we'll get into this definitely at the Summerslam when it comes...
Discussion.
Yeah, because there was a lot of this during SummerSlam. But what both of these guys did is that they had a really good match and had that crowd in the palm of their hands, and I'm assuming a lot of people at home in the palm of their hands, and they didn't take any risks. These guys had a good, like, physical match, but they didn't do anything stupid that's going to get them hurt.
Yeah.
And they've shown
it was very
that
by the books.
If you get over, you can have a really fucking basic match, but it can be a great match just because of how invested the audience is in these characters.
And the audience was really invested. I mean, Nakamura's so over. Yeah. Like, it's not even...
How about that entrance? So, that was another badass entrance for the night, is Nakamura. He's got the violin player out there. And they talk about somebody who's just happy to be there. That guy was like, oh, yeah. Like, so that was a good entrance. Really epic. Really fit the character. Joe's entrance was just Joe's entrance. But, I mean, he's just this badass. And he just kind of marched out there. I'm the fucking man. And all that stuff. Hey, man. Really good match. I expect more out of them at the next TakeOver. But yeah, we really pushed over NXT, I think. What do you got to say about this match?
No, I mean, I thought it was good. Again, Jared overhyped it for me a lot because he was really sucking their dicks a lot last week.
Look, man.
But overall,
I know what these guys can do. And you know what? Talking about this style, right? The style that...
strong style? Or...
So that people, like, aren't getting hurt. Shinsegae Nakamura, in all of his big-time matches, has put on great matches, and this guy doesn't take that many risks. I haven't really seen him do anything stupid yet. Nothing that I'm just like, Jesus Christ, how's his neck not broken? So, like, he should be one of the guys that a lot of people on the main roster look at and see, how does he do it? How does this guy get so over with this crowd and
by not being crazy,
and he's like not doing all these crazy spots? Everything that he does matters. There was one time when he wasn't really selling a leg as well as he should have, but everything that he does matters. Everything that he does hits hard, and he's not doing fucking triple backflips, springboards out to the mat where like no one's there to catch him or something, or just like spiking himself on his head and all that stuff. And we ended up seeing a lot of that in SummerSlam. So like, I mean, I'm a fan of a crazy high spot every now and then, but when you're fucking injuring the entire roster and and it's happening all the time, you really need to dial it back and save it for times that really matter.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. But Nakamura, NXT champion, this was the right move. And I think that after Joe loses his rematch, he may have one more feud left him in an NXT before he comes up to Raw or SmackDown. And there's rumors of a feud with Brock Lesnar.
I also heard of rumors of another feud with Brock Lesnar, which are now canceled probably, but we'll get into that later. I'm assuming. One thing we did skip over was the go to sleep. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, so
I forgot about that.
After Austin Aries' match, Hideo Itami, Kenta Kobayashi comes out to the ring because Aries isn't done with No Way Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Hideo Itami comes out to the ring, hits him with the combo. Crowd knows what's coming. Now, Go to Sleep was teased, but you may not know this, but when Hideo Itami, before he got hurt, he would always tease this Go to Sleep because that's his move.
Yeah, it was not CM Punk's.
Yeah,
it was
CM Punk took it from him. But CM Punk had just left the company, so I don't really think that they were letting him do it. And I think that was probably the right move because at the time, I feel like a lot of people would have chanted CM Punk at him.
Mm-hmm.
But they waited long enough, and they got the right reaction. He hit the move, and the entire crowd chanted GTS. No CM Punk chants.
Right.
So, awesome. Really awesome. Glad they're letting him use his move. And I'm really looking forward to the feud between Hideo Itami and Austin Aries. I think that will end up being Aries' best match since coming to NXT. It might be tough to take out Nakamura and Aries, but whatever.
So overall, you thought it was a good show?
I thought that NXT TakeOver was the show of the weekend.
Yeah?
Overall, yeah. I thought that was the best show of the weekend.
Cool. So
Buddy's giving me this bewildered look right now. Like, really? Really?
No, I'm just.
You didn't think it was Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor? I didn't watch Ring of Honor this past weekend.
You watched UFC 202?
I did, but I only caught like the two main matches, and one of them was a 13-second knockout, and then Conor McGregor went the distance with Nate Diaz, and damn, that was a hell of a fight. That was a great fight. So, but yeah, we're not here to talk about UFC.
No.
We're here to talk about WWE.
Real sports.
So,
so
not those pussies in the UFC. All right, so
SummerSlam.
I missed a lot of the kickoff show. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't think I didn't watch the kickoff.
Too much, man. How long did this show run?
I think it was like 7 hours, 6 hours maybe. Because the main event was once the show started, it was like 4 hours, right? It was like 7 to 11:05 or something. Because it's a long night.
Oh man. All right, so I hopped into the pre-show right as Sheamus and Cesaro were doing their thing. The first match in a best-of-7 series. I predicted that Sheamus would go over on this one. I was right. And that's about the only thing I was happy about with this. Now, this was a physical brawl of a match between these guys, as we know that they could put on. But have we seen it too many times before? Are they going to be able to change this up in a best-of-7 series? And you know it's going to go 7 fucking matches.
Yeah, it's going to... yeah. Who do you think is going to go over in the end?
Cesaro.
That's definitely the smart move.
So, good physical match. You didn't watch it?
No, I did not.
All right, lucky you. So let's move on.
So first match of the night, definitely kicked off the show strong, in my opinion, at least, was the tag match between Jericho and Enzo and Cass, which I wasn't thinking about this when I made my prediction, but I forgot the fact that it was a hometown show, essentially. So as soon as I realized that, I was like, all right, they're fucking losing.
You thought they would lose?
Yeah.
That would have reinforced me thinking that they were going to win to make the crowd happy.
Vince McMahon hates hometown heroes, man.
Hey, man, he put CM Punk over huge at Money in the Bank in Chicago. So
they're few and far between.
Whatever. So, I thought this was a decent start to the show. I don't know. I thought it was
fun. I liked when Kevin Owens was making fun of Enzo's dance. I thought that was funny.
Kevin Owens is big time, in my opinion. I hope he goes over on Monday. I don't think he will.
We'll get there.
But I hope he does. So, I really don't have much to say about this match, honestly.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
It was a match.
I thought it was entertaining. Thought it kicked off the show decently.
I thought that the promo was a dud.
Really?
Too much hometown cocksucking on that one.
That's when I knew it was over.
So that promo was a dud. Anyways, on to the next. Let's move on. What's the next match?
So the next match after that, bizarrely enough, second match of the night, technically, was Charlotte versus Sasha for the women's title. Here's the thing:
the card upset a lot of people.
The card in general is weird as fuck. Just the way they ordered these matches.
Yeah, I agree with that. This match. Here we go. This is this is the example of the night of what I was talking about earlier. Too many risks. Now, it made for a great match. This was a great match. But Sasha Banks, word is, was going into this match hurt.
Yeah.
I think with a back injury. And then they just set her up for so much stupid shit. That, I know she wanted to go out there and have a hell of a match before she took some time off. But goddamn, that spot on the ropes.
Yeah.
That was scary. Charlotte sets her up on the ropes, and it looked like maybe she was going to do a fall-away slam. But I don't know if they botched it. She just dropped her on the ropes.
Her head just fucking
She just landed on her fucking head. Scary stuff. And it didn't even end there. And then, not even that much later, fucking Sasha Banks coming off the ring apron, double knees to Charlotte's head on the damn outside there.
Jeez.
Sasha Banks landing on her damn knees on the outside, almost crushing Charlotte's skull. I don't think anyone got hurt on that move, but good lord, that's a crazy move. And then after that, they did the off the top rope Hurricane Rana.
Yeah.
That Sasha Banks freaking just missed her head. And a lot of people thought she caught her head. There was just some scary stuff in this match.
It was definitely a hard-hitting match. I'm happy. I don't know. I'm happy it went as well as it did. I liked Charlotte's. I don't know if it's a new edge.
I'm happy that neither girl's a fucking vegetable.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Charlotte's been fighting with a lot of aggression recently, especially since she got away with Ric Flair or whatever, like told him to fuck off. She's definitely been having a lot more aggression in her wrestling. I thought it was a good match. Kind of, I don't know. If you're going to have this whole women's evolution thing, I don't think it should have been the second match of the night if it's a title match.
Should have been later in the card, without a doubt.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was decent. Yeah, happy that Sasha can go on her honeymoon now, apparently, allegedly.
With a freaking broken back.
Yeah.
I'd like to see those honeymoon photos of a full body cast.
Jesus Christ.
It was a good match, and I got props for both ladies. Charlotte, man, she's only been in the business for a couple years, and she is just one of the best women in WWE right now, from an in-ring standpoint, from a charisma standpoint. She's going to be a player for a long time, and I'm impressed with her. I'm impressed with the guts of Sasha Banks and the effort that she put in. I just wish that, these girls just didn't have to kill each other like that. You got to dial it back a little bit and make sure that your stuff actually matters.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking about that a little bit more as the night goes on.
Yeah.
So, let's fucking move on. What was next, Miz?
Miz and Apollo Crews. How'd you feel?
Surprise of the night. I can't even remember who I predicted for this match.
I think we both went Miz.
Did we?
I believe so.
I know that my heart was with the Miz. I can't believe he went over clean. There's not really much else to remember about this match, but the Miz went over clean.
Yeah. I believe it was a pretty quick match, if I recall.
It was only like 5 minutes. Miz goes over clean, dodges the shoulder tackle. Apollo Crews goes into the post. Scroll crushing finale. 1, 2, 3.
And that's it.
Miz retains. No gimmicks. No nothing. I liked it. I'm a huge Miz fan.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I like Apollo Crews as well. I just don't think he's ready for that kind of. We
need to establish a character. The ring work is there. He's great in the ring, but who is he? Who is Apollo Crews? It's just this guy that's happy to be there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we need something out of him. We need some
storyline at least.
Yeah,
I mean, he just kind of shows up. I mean, him and Sheamus had that
shows up,
thing.
Smiles, yells, and then loses to the Miz clean at SummerSlam.
We'll probably be talking about the Miz a little bit later too.
We probably will be.
Definitely will be.
So
next match, my opinion was the match of the night at SummerSlam was AJ Styles versus John Cena.
Match of the night. Try match of the weekend, brother. AJ Styles versus John Cena. Let's face it. There's no doubt that these guys can go out there and fucking hit a home run. There's no doubt about it. And that's exactly what they did.
Probably the two best performers out there right now. I would say
they're two of the best. I'd say that AJ is definitely in the top 5 without a doubt, and Cena's probably in the top 10, which is no diss to Cena whatsoever. Right. But I'm just calling it how I see it right now. I love John Cena and I love AJ Styles. These guys went out there and they were given the time, and they really just hit a home run with this match. It was incredible. I love AJ Styles in this match. I love his attitude. I went out
his
there.
attitude adjustment. Like that.
How about the John Cena? What is he going for? A test of strength or something? When AJ smacks the hand out of the way. We're doing this my way.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
Oh, I love it. Just the cockiness, I'm the man. That kind of attitude. There needs to be more of that. He's staring at the face that runs the place, and he knows that he's better. He knows in his heart that he's better than John Cena. Now, I mean, what?
It's up for. I mean,
whatever. But I'm not saying he's better than John Cena, but
he's saying he is.
He is. I just like that confidence that he exudes, and so it just seemed really authentic. And then we're moving into this match. This is why I wish I would have taken some notes, because there's so many high spots in this match, and just a lot of false finishes.
Yeah.
There was one nitpick with this match, is that they probably went into the false finishes a little soon. And I also do not like when it's overdone, when everybody's just kicking out of each other's finishers.
Little overkill.
You can only cry wolf so many times. Now, in this match, it worked, because it was a high-profile match, a blow-off match for both of these guys to kind of seal the feud. And so it was an epic match. In the context, it works here. The problem that I have is that we do this all the time.
Right.
This needs to be dialed back. This needs to not happen as often. We can't have every fucking match on the card, kick out of his finisher at least once. Can't even kick out of every signature move, big move all the time. I would love to just see every now and then, John Cena freaking hits somebody with like a sit-out powerbomb and gets the 1, 2, 3. It has to be an attitude adjustment every time. So now I know, okay, this match is not going to end unless John Cena hits the attitude adjustment or locks in the STF on an opponent that I believe that can tap out. So,
yeah.
I mean, I would just like to see more of that on Raw. We saw some of it on Raw this past week. Kevin Owens with the swinging neck breaker to Neville goes over. I'd like to see more of that. You hit these big moves, and then it's always a near fall. Let's see a 3 count on a DDT every now and then. When they hit those huge spike DDTs.
Yeah.
Let's see a 3 count out of that. Let's see a 3 count when Dolph Ziggler, or anybody, because everyone does super kicks now, and it's this big momentum shifting move. Let's see someone get caught with a damn super kick. He doesn't see it coming,
and that's
spits out, and then that's it. He got knocked the fuck out because he just got kicked in the face full force. I mean,
because at a certain level, it stops making the finishers look as strong as they are. If you're gonna kick out of every single one,
they buried Styles Clash like the moment that AJ got to WWE. Styles Clash, like, everybody's kicked out of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like that sucks. Fucking, they tried to give him the other finisher, the phenomenal forearm, and like everyone's kicked out of that too. What did it take to beat Cena? Styles Clash and then phenomenal forearm.
You gotta get 2 in a row.
Put the explanation point on it, and I think he had already hit Styles Clash earlier in the match. He did.
He kicked out.
And I think he hit phenomenal forearm earlier in the match too.
I'm sure he did.
So I mean, in this match, I'm not really going to complain about it, but god damn it, stop doing it all the time. Stop doing it all the time. This needs to be saved for big matches like this. AJ Styles versus John Cena. And like not even their first match. Like let's see the feud heat up to the level where it's like, I can't let this guy beat me. This has gotten so personal that like if I lose tonight, it's going to be absolutely humiliating for me. And he's hit me with this attitude adjustment. I have to kick out. I have to show the guts, the determination to kick out of this move because this means that much to me. Build the feuds up to that point, and then let's start kicking out of finishers.
Right.
How many people kicked out of stunners? Only the people that mattered.
Yeah.
Triple H or The Rock, Undertaker maybe. You know what I mean? but all those matches were huge. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, back in the day, you hit the finisher,
Sure,
the guy was fucking done. Unless the feud had gotten to that point where it was just like, an absolutely must win, which every match should be must win, but
yeah,
I don't know. Like I'm saying, just like that shouldn't be. And I think in their first match they kicked out of a few finishers too.
Yeah.
It seems like every time John Cena has a big match, he goes to this style of match where it's like, all right, we're gonna each kick out of 15 finishers and 30 high spots, and it's just overdone. It needs to be saved for special occasions. This is SummerSlam. This is John Cena versus AJ Styles. It worked, but let's dial it back. I know Vince is never going to listen to our podcast.
Never, ever. That's okay.
I know that Stone Cold and everyone else kind of repeats my sentiment here. And I really, more than anything, I really just want to see some high spots get some 3 counts. To really diversify it, really make it seem like a sport, seem like any move can end this match, kind of like MMA. Any punch can knock somebody out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, you don't know what's going to come. It makes it more unpredictable that when this guy gets the DDT, that huge tornado DDT,
it could be over.
Maybe I could buy into him, but I can't as of right now. And there were a couple times during this John Cena match where they hit some big spots, and my friends were like on the edge of their seat. I don't know how they did, but I was just like, they're crying wolf right now. This isn't the finish.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I knew it was probably gonna be one of the longest matches of the night. And I believe it was the longest match.
By like a minute or two.
But yeah, the false finishes. I mean, I knew it wasn't over. When the moment I realized, I was like, all right, this match is probably coming to a close. Is when AJ finally kicked out of like one, and you could tell Cena just like had it, and he went over to the side and just stared at him.
That super attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
So I thought it might be over on that one, but my friends also kind of ruined that for me by saying, hey, remember when Kevin Owens kicked out of that move? Fuck. Yeah. So I believe that Kevin Owens and AJ are the only ones that have ever kicked out of that attitude adjustment off the second or top rope. But I still kind of was like, is he going to kick out?
Yeah.
And he did, and then I remember Kevin Owens tapped out after that, though, after he kicked out of that super attitude adjustment. So Cena got the STF. After that big move was when I really started to buy in, but that was really close to the end of the match. And it was like these guys have hit so many big moves on each other that it's just like one of them is going to have to lose like soon, probably like the next big move. And I think there was still like a few more big moves after that. But
so how did you feel about the ending, the cryptic, maybe not so cryptic ending to the match?
So Cena's taking some time off. That's all there is to it. He's filming a TV show.
Yeah. It's like American Grit season 2 or something.
Yeah, something. Whatever. I mean, he's taking some time off. He'll be back. And I think they had a feud maybe lined up for him already. He'll probably challenge for the title or something.
Do you think there's any hidden meaning behind leaving the wristband?
No. I just think it was a cool moment.
No setup for WrestleMania 33? Possibly with The Undertaker leaving his gloves?
Maybe.
Maybe?
I didn't even think of that.
You didn't think of that?
No.
That was the first thing I thought.
We'll see. I think the Taker Cena is a match that they have to have at Mania.
Probably a retirement match at this point because...
For Taker?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Cena's still going to go for a little while. I don't see him leaving that soon.
I don't see him leaving for a long time.
Yeah, so... I mean, this is a great match. Match of the weekend. And let's move on. So
after this match... I think Jared might agree. Everything in the night kind of got a little weird.
So
after this,
the crowd got absolutely fucking murdered by John Cena and AJ Styles. They tore the fucking house down, and the crowd didn't know what to do. They were exhausted. So you can't follow that match. So. I don't know. What did they send out after that?
Right after that, we see Jon Stewart come out to the ring.
Oh. Oh, good lord.
Oh, before that happened, though, we forgot to mention this. There was the recorded promo thing with Big E's balls or whatever with the club, and then Finn Balor made an appearance.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that. I forgot that happened.
That was a cool little moment. A little tease there. Not much else to say about it.
Yeah.
I liked the way that the club put the wolf pack up and they're like shaking it. Kind of waiting for him to do it, but he didn't.
Yeah. So that was an interesting little moment. The fucking match happened. The tag team match between the New Day with Jon Stewart and the club, Dr. Gallows and Dr. Anderson. Glad that gimmick's over after this match. Pretty weird finish that the baby faces are the ones that caused the DQ to retain. But glad to see Big E's back. Not too much to say. It was a little weird. Again, Jon Stewart was being ridiculous. I don't know what else to say about it. Big E drank the testicle juice.
He did. He spit it out though. I bought some Bootios this weekend, and $12.99 at FYE. It's really expensive cereal.
Is it any good?
It's okay. It's cereal. Yeah. This match was a throwaway comedy. The only thing to take away from this is that Big E made his return, and I thought that the club was going to go over, take advantage of New Day being short a man, and I thought that that'd be pretty logical booking, but they didn't go there. Okay, that's whatever.
New Day retains. They've had the title for now. It's officially been over a year. It's a pretty lengthy run. We'll see what happens at the next pay-per-view.
I don't know if the club's ever going to get the belts off of them.
I
But
don't
who
know.
is? Who the hell's going to beat these guys for the titles?
I have no
They've
idea.
had it for so goddamn long.
We'll find out at
Whatever.
Clash of Champions, Night of Champions, whatever the next one.
Clash of Champions.
Yeah. Guess we'll find out, I guess. So the next match of the night, bizarrely dead set in the middle of the card, was the World Heavyweight Championship match between Ambrose and Ziggler. Again, I don't think anyone really thought Ziggler was going to come out of here with the title. We were correct. I don't know what to say about it. At a loss for words here. But my main thing is, I understand that you don't want to have either of the title matches the last match of the night because you don't want to put favoritism over either one of them. But if you're going to put the prestigious World Heavyweight Championship in the middle of the card, I don't know. I think if they really want to make SmackDown not seem like the little brother of the B show, they've got to start taking it a little more seriously, in my opinion, I guess. I don't know. What do you think?
This match. It was good. I don't know. Like, I thought that they could have done a little bit better with the story that they were trying to tell with Ziggler. And why did you even give him this shot if you weren't going to try something with him? And I'm not saying give him the strap, but I'm saying have him have a better showing than he did. Because Dean Ambrose kind of owned this match, and he dominated for the majority of the match, and kind of made Ziggler look like a little bitch, just like Dean Ambrose said that he was. Wasn't Ziggler supposed to be kind of scrappy going into this match?
Supposedly.
To show that he is a player. Maybe he comes up just short, but he's still a fucking player, and it's anybody's match. You know what I mean? Ziggler was this close.
But it wasn't that way.
But it wasn't. Dean Ambrose whipped his ass up and down the ring. Ziggler got in some offense, but God, Dean Ambrose owned most of the offense in that match. And what do you do with Ziggler now?
Well, they almost gave him another title shot on SmackDown, but he lost that as well. So I really don't know. He's basically trapped in mid-card purgatory.
Yeah, he's never getting out. And
I don't know.
I could just sit here and sigh about it. Now this is like a talented performer that kind of is just going to waste, but it's all been said before.
Yeah.
I don't really need to say it again. Dean Ambrose goes over.
Big shock.
To set up a much bigger feud that's coming up.
Which we will get to.
You know what? We don't even need to get into it. I think that it's pretty much set in stone and that everyone knew coming out of SummerSlam that Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles was the next move.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
So, let's go. Next match.
Next match was the women's tag team match.
Next match.
Just Nikki Bella came back. It was okay.
Nikki Bella comes back.
Moving on.
Whatever. I mean, like, let's...
Very bizarre.
Nothing wrong with these girls, but it was just, I don't know. It was just, we got to see Naomi's new look.
Yeah. That
was a thing. Something happened. I just don't know what to say about this match, man. It was just kind of like...
I don't think you even need to have it.
Nikki Bella came back, and that was just it. It was just kind of a space filler.
Yeah. So the match after that, they unveiled the WWE Universal Championship belt. Belt looks like shit. Everyone knows it looks like shit. There's no reason to really
I didn't think it looked that bad. I really didn't. I halfway expected it to look like the WWE, kind of thing that they're doing with all their belts now, like make them look the same. I don't know. I mean, I don't like it, but I don't hate it. It was a belt.
The fans did not like it. Seth Rollins even sent out a tweet, I believe, that said, like, Brooklyn, you really let me down. Because everyone was more fixated on the belt than they were on the actual match.
Absolutely, and I agree with Seth Rollins 100% in this case. It's like, man, look, how quickly people forget that they went years with that dreadful spinner belt, which is the ugliest world championship in history, in my opinion. So, like, this belt was not that bad, and let's face it, you have two world-class performers, two of the best on the planet in the ring, fighting it out for this belt, and you're just going to focus on that belt? And
not the match.
Yeah, not the match. Like, I thought that was just absolutely disappointing, and I thought that was stupid of that crowd.
For sure. The match itself, for those of you who are actually watching the match and not freaking out about the belt, it was a good match.
It was a good match, yeah. Definitely a good match. These two could have better, but I believe this is the first time they've ever worked together.
Yeah.
Like, ever. I don't think they've ever worked together on the indies or anything. And so I expect better things from them down the line, which, as we now know, will be way down the line because
of what happened.
Because here we go. So some more risk taking, some more crazy stuff's going on, and I guess people are going to say that this was a big risk, but I don't really think it was. This is a move that Seth Rollins has done a bunch of times, and it's just like a freak thing that happened. Buckle bomb, but onto the barricade.
Yeah.
And this popped out Finn Balor's shoulder. He pops it back in and works the rest of the match. That fucking gutsy performance, because by the end of this match, the crowd was into it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, considering that they brought this crowd all the way from "this belt sucks" to being invested in the match with an injured shoulder and just probably not even really knowing what to do when the crowd was reacting the way that they were reacting. So, it really goes to show how good both of these guys are. We find out the next day, though, that, there were some complications with this shoulder dislocation.
Right.
Finn Balor tore his labrum, and he's out for 4 to 6 months.
True. But yeah, it was a decent match. Again, just overshadowed by the title, I guess.
Big time for Finn Balor, though, is it really showed that the company is really behind him.
Yeah.
And really ready to push him. I really liked his entrance, too. His entrance was really good at SummerSlam.
The camera guy fucked up a little bit, though.
It kind of caught him as he was coming up.
You could see, like, you'd see the smoke, and, like, the idea is not to see him until it, like, hits. But as the camera guy's, like, walking up, you see him against the wall there a little bit, and then you see him again a little bit later before the big pop in the music where he's supposed to come out. So yeah, that was a little screw up on the camera department there, but overall it was a good thing. So yeah.
All right, so yeah, good match. I thought that the camera work was generally actually pretty good for this match, aside from those little flops there. I really liked the moment where Balor goes flying over the barricade, Seth Rollins turns around to glow, and then all of a sudden the Demon King just rises up from beyond the barricade just looking pissed. And I thought that would draw a huge reaction from the crowd, but they were too busy mocking this title belt that they just really didn't catch on to that, what really was kind of a really cool moment. But whatever. Finn Balor goes over. Good match.
First Universal
Probably the
Champion.
second best match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree.
Or, you know what, maybe the third, because that women's match was a hell of a match.
True.
It was second or third, but they had a great match. I expect really good things when Finn Balor returns and comes for that title. In all likelihood, Seth Rollins will probably be holding it then. So
yeah. Setting up a rematch, maybe, depending on when he comes back, maybe around Royal Rumble time.
And I'm not even saying Seth Rollins will win it right out of the gate. I could see them holding off on Rollins winning it, and then winning it, and then retaining, and then coming out the next night on Raw, like, oh, nobody can fucking beat me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finn Balor's music hits, and he comes out, and that just seems
it
like
has
the
been.
go-to.
There is I don't want to say it was controversy, but there's a little bit of speculation that the WWE is just saying that it'll take about 6 months, but the doctors actually reported 2 or 3, so they'll make it sort of like an make it seem like it's an early comeback when it really isn't. Again, it's speculation.
You think that's what they do with Cena?
I don't know. I mean, you would think.
So, anyways, what do we have next? Reigns versus Rusev.
Sort of. Reigns versus
Never really got off the ground. Here's my big thing with this match is why was Reigns so pissed off? I know that I was saying that to myself. I was like, why is he so fucking mad? Rusev jumps the gun a little bit and like hits him before the bell rings. But Reigns got irrationally mad about this. This is pro wrestling. This shit happens all the time. He got so mad that nobody could pull him off. He started beating the fucking piss out of Rusev. I don't know, man.
Again, this was a very strange night. I don't know. It was... I don't know. Not much to say. The match didn't even happen.
Yeah. I would be lying to you if I wasn't saying that I wasn't like almost completely fucking burned out already at this point when this happened. So a match that I didn't have that much emotional investment in going in, and I'm already burned out. So I'm kind of glad this match never started because I probably would have tuned most of it out anyways. Reigns hits the spear off the ramp, gets kind of a big pop in Brooklyn, which I guess everyone's making a big deal out of.
Yeah.
I've seen him hit it before. I'm sure I'll see him hit it a couple million more times. I don't know.
Not much to say. I don't think it should have been this high on the card if they weren't going to do it anyway.
What confuses me is if you're Roman Reigns, you've already beaten Rusev. You know you can beat him. Why don't you want to get this match going so you can win that United States Championship?
Well, I mean, we kind of know why.
He's the one that challenged for the damn belt, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like, it should be in his best interest to, really be like, all right. You know what I mean? Like, get Rusev off me. Let's get this, ring the bell. Let's get this thing going. And then beat the shit out of him. And then
if he would have waited, like 40 more seconds. Wait for that bell to ring. But I don't know.
Let's move on to the main event.
Main event, the highly anticipated, highly controversial. I don't know, man.
All right, buddy. Let me tell you something right now. I haven't let you talk that much. I want to hear what you have to say about this match.
What do I have?
This is the talking point.
This is the
coming out of SummerSlam that everyone's still talking about, and this was really controversial. So I want to hear what your take on this.
Well, I guess we'll start off by just saying that the match, for the most part, the first 5 or 6 minutes or so, were pretty by the book Lesnar and pretty by the book Orton. Saw some suplexes. I mean, nothing too crazy. They went over to the table, put him through it. He hit the RKO. Then Brock kicked out of another RKO once they got back into the match, back into the ring. I mean,
I think he just hit the spike DDT.
Did he?
When they got back into the ring.
I can't recall.
He hit the RKO on the table, and then pulls him up. Spike DDT into the ring.
Yeah, you might be right.
Brock really fucking smacked his head on the mat on that one, and then went for the cover, 2 count.
Yeah.
So he might have hit another RKO after that, but I'm not sure.
But anyway, the big moment everyone's talking about is Brock Lesnar basically almost killing Randy Orton, probably. Takes off his gloves, starts pounding the fuck out of his forehead, cuts open this huge gash, bleeds out, TKO, and then continues to beat the shit out of him after that. Did you see that? I don't know. It wasn't like an Onion article, but it was some sort of fake news article that said breaking news: voices escape through hole in Randy Orton's head.
I didn't see that. That's funny. Oh man. So what did you think? What did you think of all this?
Well, it was just, to me, I wasn't as shocked as I was confused. I wasn't sure if this was, when it happened, everyone didn't know if it was a work or if it was a shoot. And definitely when it was happening, the idea was for everyone to think it was a shoot, which I did as well. So again, I was just really confused on what was going to happen after that. People were chanting Goldberg, nothing happened. Shane came out, got an F5, and then Brockner fucking left. And from what I've heard, as soon as the camera stops, the boos erupted in the stadium.
Well, there were boos.
But it was...
Yeah,
it
was...
They got
more, yeah.
But again, I was just really confused. I wasn't sure if it was a work or a shoot. I wasn't sure if this meant the end of the PG era. I just didn't know what was going on. I don't know. What did you think?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I knew it was a work. I mean, Lesnar's a businessman. He's a professional, and he draws hard way blood in every fucking match that he's in. He either draws it or he gets hard way blood. And really, the confirming thing for everyone out there to watch this is that after he got the blood and after the match was ended, Lesnar's still going back and hitting him. He's punching him even more. So, and then he F5s Shane and all that. It's a work. Now,
yeah.
The confusing thing is how much blood really came out.
Because from it wasn't. That's why he got the fine, supposedly, because it was a work. It was confirmed. It wasn't a shoot at all. He just wasn't supposed to draw any blood at all, actually, from what I've heard. And that's why there was such a... Well, it wasn't a huge fine. It was $500. It's fucking a nickel to Brock Lesnar. But
that's a joke. That was a work that was kind of a joke. Let Stephanie find him such a small amount because that's her guy. And he actually got fined for F5ing Shane.
Is that what it was for?
That was what the fine was for.
Oh.
The blood, The blood was part of the finish. They wanted him to draw blood, but you can't blade in today's WWE. You have to get your blood hard way, right? So Vince's policy is like, oh, if you hard way, there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could tell he throws that elbow right into him, and it's stiff as hell, and to catch him right there on the head. Whereas, like, if you were really intending to hurt somebody, I feel like you would throw the elbow at their nose, or their chin, or maybe in their eye. But it was right there on his forehead, which is the, kind of the softest, easiest part of the like skin there to break. Sharp part of the elbow to the skin. This is how you draw blood. So, like, he was intending to draw blood. That was the finish that they were going for. But the amount of blood that came out was just absurd.
Right.
And I think that there was a little bit more than they bargained for, which maybe confused a couple of people.
Because from what I've heard, everyone knew that Lesnar was going to win the match. Like the staff, the medics, the refs, everyone.
What's the medicine that thins your blood?
I don't know.
There's a certain type of over-the-counter drug that you can take, and it'll thin your blood. Right, and so old school trick was that wrestlers, when you knew you were going to get color in a match, you would take some of these pills that would thin your blood out. You would bleed a lot more.
Yeah,
and so a lot of people think that maybe Randy Orton, who's an old school guy, and his dad was Cowboy Bob Orton, very much around during this period of time where people would be doing this. He knows he's going to get color in this match. Perhaps he took some of these pills to kind of thin his blood out, and so when they would draw blood, he would get a lot of fucking blood.
Yeah.
And so that's one theory, or maybe it's literally how much goddamn blood came out. But that was the finish. That's what they were going for. There would be no other reason to stop the match.
Right.
Unless there was blood. You know what I mean? Like, and Lesnar kept beating him down, you know what I mean? Like, to really get that effect, you got to draw some blood on him. And to really get that, he's bleeding like so much, and Lesnar's still beating on him. You got to stop the match. So, I guess you could have done it without the blood. I don't think it would have been
as effective
because it really fucking worked some people over,
including Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho tried to fight Brock Lesnar backstage. Are you fucking kidding me? Chris Jericho, who's a known scrapper, I guess he doesn't back down. Chris Jericho once got Goldberg in a headlock that Goldberg could not escape. So I mean, they worked Chris Jericho. They worked a lot of fans, a lot of angry tweets. Brock Lesnar should not be allowed to be in the WWE anymore. All this stuff, completely unprofessional. Blah, blah. You know what? You're absolutely wrong. You're a bunch of... You think that you're smart marks, but I mean, like, I guess you are smart marks.
If he's ending it with an F5 and then just walking away, you know it's a work. Because if Shane was actually trying to stop him, or if Lesnar was actually trying to stop Shane, it wouldn't have been an F5. He would have
knocked his ass out cold.
Exactly.
So Brock Lesnar does what Brock Lesnar wants. You know, in this case, Brock Lesnar wants to make a lot of fucking money, so he works for WWE and does what they tell him to do. I feel bad for people that have to work with Brock Lesnar, though, because, you know, you're in the finish room and suddenly someone's like, all right, so Brock's going to get hardway blood on you this time.
Yeah.
Oh,
from what I heard, Randy was not...
I would be like, look, man, give me a blade. Just let me blade. Just let me cut myself open. Don't let this monster fucking throw these elbows with you. What'd you hear about Randy?
He was not thrilled at the end of it.
Who would be thrilled? I mean,
because he knew what he was getting into, but I guess even he said that Lesnar took it a little bit too far.
Orton's been kind of known to whine a little bit, so I'm not surprised. But like, no, I guess you didn't know what you were getting into then, Randy. You know what I mean? A fucking 300-pound beast throwing elbows at you to draw hardway blood. That shit's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna catch a lot of blood. Because there's no way for you to pull your punch and still draw blood. You know what I mean? Like, if he pulled his punch, then, damn, you're just going to hurt him a little bit, but you might not draw blood. You know what I mean? So you really got to throw it. So you make sure that you get the blood. You know what I mean? Because that's what you're going for. When you got Brock Lesnar really throwing elbows at you, Jesus Christ, man. Whew, that's not good. But, I mean, that's the finish they went for.
From what I've heard, they actually gave Randy a lot more stuff to work with than was originally planned. Originally, it was just supposed to be Brock Lesnar fucking obliterating him, like, right from the beginning. So the fact that Randy even actually got to do anything was...
They're building Lesnar for something big, probably a match with Reigns. But, I mean, like, they're really...
From what I heard, this is just a rumor. I don't know how confirmed this was because it's not going to happen anymore either way. Apparently, at the Royal Rumble, there was supposed to be a Universal title match between Finn and Brock. Which obviously now can't happen, but it was a rumor.
So, there was a lot of complaints. I saw a lot of tweets. A lot of people upset. A lot of people are upset that Brock got the amount of offense on Randy that he did. That Randy is a future Hall of Famer, you know what I mean? And just a world-class
12-time champion, yeah.
And Brock's going in there and fucking tossing him around like he's fucking chopped liver. Here's my thing, man, is that he did the same thing to John Cena and nobody was complaining. My other thing is that, and everyone's complaining, oh, Brock doesn't sell. He didn't sell for Randy. But he sold for him.
Yeah,
Randy put him through that table. Randy DDT'd him. Man, Brock sold his ass off. Still kicked out of the move because Brock's not supposed to lose the fucking match. You know what I mean? What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
That's not the finish. But he sold for him. He made Randy look pretty good for a couple minutes there. And so, I mean, but that's the way this shit was booked. Brock's not being unprofessional. And for those of you that think that Brock is burying the entire roster, that is not the case. Brock Lesnar's going to get his comeuppance. He's dominating the roster. This is how you build heat. I don't know how long any of you have been watching professional wrestling. You build heat. You feed people to this monster heel. And then one day, your next big babyface, he's going to beat Brock Lesnar. All that heat's going to go on to him. He's going to be the man that beat Brock Lesnar. The man that conquered The Undertaker. Conquered John Cena. Conquered Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Beat all these people and did it easily. And then suddenly, Roman Reigns or whoever the hell's going to do it is going to beat Brock Lesnar. He's going to be the man that beat the Beast. And that's going to be on his resume forever. That's going to put him over huge. He's going to get all the heat that Brock Lesnar's been building this entire time. Brock Lesnar's going to get his comeuppance. So, I mean, you guys just need to rest easy and just go with the storyline. This is how it's supposed to go. Vince isn't telling Brock one thing and Brock's going out there being an unprofessional asshole and doing completely something else. This is how he's being booked. So, I mean, like, that's how the business of professional wrestling works. And honestly, this isn't done enough these days. You know what I mean? Where you have this completely credible monster that, like, who can possibly beat this guy? I don't know who can beat Brock Lesnar right now.
At this point, I don't know either.
I don't know who. But one day someone is. And when it happens, it's going to fucking blow the roof off the place. Just like when Brock beat Undertaker. Took the air out of that building. No one could believe it. And that's why that was such good booking. That's why SummerSlam, the finish, why I liked it so much, such good booking. Got everyone talking. No one knew if it was a work or a shoot. Even Chris Jericho was fooled. You know what I mean?
Had to be pulled apart by Vince McMahon and Triple H, apparently.
Yep, so, I mean, hey, wild finish to SummerSlam. Let's go to Monday Night Raw, the follow-up, the sad beginning here. Finn Balor has to relinquish the Universal title.
It's a touching moment. Very sad.
That sucked, man.
It was...
To really get all that way there and to get that rocket shoved up your ass and get pushed right to the top and then have that belt taken from you immediately.
Well, at least he can say he was the first one ever.
First Universal Champion of all time. Who knows how long that belt's even going to be around.
Yeah, I mean, who knows. So they're setting up this fatal four-way between... Well, they did some matches to determine, and the people who won the matches were Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Cass, and Reigns, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about this 4-way match?
I think that Seth Rollins is the easy money to win this. Because you could have him pin anyone in this match and they won't really lose anything since it was a fatal 4-way. They could literally take someone else's finisher and then Seth could dump that person and then take the pin. But, you know, I just think he's the easy money. I would love to see someone like Owens take it. Yeah. That would be great. Jericho lost his match against Reigns, right? So
yeah.
Have Jericho come out, kind of run some interference that gives KO the opportunity to get the win over who else is on this? Big Cass?
Big Cass.
Big Cass is a babyface that could take the fall right now.
Yeah. He's definitely the underdog going into the match, and I don't think he's going to come out.
I think he's taking the fall.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to pin Reigns. You could pin KO, but I don't see why you would. And so, I mean, that's really all I got out of Raw. Honestly,
yeah, I mean,
nothing just to set up for that Universal title thing. On SmackDown, we unveiled their new women's championship
and their new
new tag titles, which is literally the same exact tag belts, but they're silver now, and the same exact women's title except the background is blue.
Yeah, exact same. I don't remember anything too crazy going on SmackDown except AJ gets the title shot, obviously. Then beats Ziggler, obviously. But after SmackDown, we had Talking Smack.
All right, so, man, another thing that kind of fooled people. My friends completely bought into this, man. They're like, oh, my God, this had to be real. Miz cuts an insane promo on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan storms off the set. Renee does an excellent job of playing up the awkwardness of the situation, making it really seem like a shoot.
Maurice does as well. She backs away, gets all scared.
It's a work. Yeah. I mean, like, come on. Like, The Miz has absolutely no fucking reason to be this mad. He's a professional. But, yeah, but it was a hell of a promo, one of his best.
Yeah, for
ever,
sure.
Actually. And he did a great job conveying his emotions and really doing this. He just freaks out on Daniel Bryan, calls him a coward for walking away from the ring.
Walks away from the promo, too.
So now the backstage word is that WWE is not completely sold yet on Daniel Bryan being done. They might try and squeeze another match out of him.
I haven't heard that, but I mean,
I've read an article about it, and so what they're doing is kind of shooting these angles where, like, a lot of these wrestlers are going to start kind of taking shots at him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you walked away. You weren't fucking good enough to make it in this business. You made it to the top, but you couldn't stay there. You know what I mean?
If that is true, the person who should take down Brock Lesnar is Daniel Bryan.
I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he's coming back for a huge run. Maybe like a one-off match. But that would be awesome. That's a dream match for me, is Daniel versus Brock. I would love to see that match. But I don't know if that's where they're going with it. That was actually another rumor too, was that, you know what, Shane against Brock, maybe not so much. I have no desire to see that match. I've heard a couple people that are like, yeah, I want to see that match. Like, dude, no. Like, what's the point? But maybe Daniel Bryan steps in for his buddy Shane. Like, all right, you know what, Brock? Fuck this. You ain't gonna fucking do this to my boy anymore.
Right.
Me and you, WrestleMania. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, man, can you imagine the crowd?
That'd be insane.
Can you imagine the crowd? Just yes chants.
I'm getting goosebumps right now.
You know what I mean? So that would be amazing. I don't think it's likely, but god damn it, that would be fucking awesome. Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan. One more match at WrestleMania. 33. Daniel Bryan's defending his buddy Shane's honor, and he's also trying to prove all these wrestlers that are calling him out. You know, you weren't man enough to stick around here. You know what? I'm gonna get in the ring with the Beast at WrestleMania and show you that I have what it takes. So
fucking ridiculous.
Hey, man, this is fantasy booking for me.
So if Vince McMahon is listening,
if Daniel Bryan can come back to the ring for one more match, book it like that. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. I want to see because I've seen that a billion times. I want to see Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. So Vince McMahon, if you are listening, yeah, fuck. So yeah, that was this week in wrestling.
Good Lord. Well, shit. We got the Cruiserweight Classic wrapped up the second round as well. They did their NXT tapings. I guess Joe attacked Nakamura, and Nakamura does the stretcher job and gets carried off. Yeah. I mean,
also heard Shawn Michaels was there. I don't know if he...
Shawn Michaels has been doing some training at their performance center now.
Yeah.
Can't really get a better guy to show these kids what's what. You know what I mean? Let's look at some of the guys that Shawn Michaels trained. Daniel Bryan.
That's all you need.
Brian Kendrick. Everyone that's kind of been under the tutelage of Shawn Michaels has been like a world-class performer. So getting him in the performance center and really showing these kids like the finer things and really like working out with them and stuff. Man, he's only in there as like kind of stand-in because Terry Taylor's hurt right now. But there's a possibility that he might stick around when Terry Taylor returns. So that would be a good win for WWE. I don't know how much Shawn is into it. I know he likes his hunting and stuff.
He does like his hunting.
So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with the Universal title.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens with everything, man. Do you have anything for us to talk about next week? Any sort of preview?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about, man?
I don't know. I'm going to have to get on the internet and start looking at stuff.
Well, we'll see who... We're going to have to see who wins this Fatal 4-Way.
I just kind of let wrestling carry this week, and I didn't really think about it.
We didn't think about next week, really.
What's in theaters? Should we go see Sausage Party or something?
I don't even know if that's still in theaters. That's been out for a while.
It's only been out for 2 weeks.
Fucking, what's that one movie with the blind guy just came out? The horror movie, where they break into his house and he's blind. He fucking it's like don't
something.
We'll find out.
Scream or I don't know.
Should have been called Lights Out because the guy's fucking blind. But
because he's punching people's lights out. Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe we'll just see a couple movies and talk about them.
We'll see. I work all week next week too, but then after that I'm done.
On your illustrious film set.
The illustrious film set, but after that we wrap on Thursday or Friday. Depends on how far behind.
Man, we could cut a podcast every fucking day.
We could.
After that. We're not going to.
We're out of things to talk about. How much time are we at right now?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half? Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So I suppose we should wrap things up.
I thought we were making good time.
Yeah, I thought
we got through NXT in like 10 minutes, and I was like, dude, we're really moving. And then all of a sudden, Summerslam happened. And then I should have known that once we got to Brock, that would be a talking point for quite some time.
Right. So next week, I don't know, we'll probably talk about some movies. Something we could have talked about this week, but we didn't. The Unforgivable videos turned 10 years old.
10 years old today, brother. Shout out to the Unforgivable dude.
So ridiculous.
Some movies that are some videos that would really benefited from the time that they were released, because if they dropped in 2016, nobody would think it was funny and everyone would be really offended by that. But
yeah, so that's all we got this week. If anyone's still listening and wants us to talk about something next week, leave it in the comments.
Follow me on Twitter.
Follow Jared on Twitter.
Dynamite Jared.
He's thirsty as hell. If you're a lovely lady.
Jared Latchey on Facebook. Hey, lovely ladies are welcome.
I'll probably slide into your DMs.
I will slide into your DMs. Hey, how many times have you had a podcaster slide into your DMs, ladies? It's 2016, so probably a lot of times.
Probably a lot. Oh, man.
All right.
But yeah, we're way over time, so we should wrap this up.
All right, man. Let's just sign off.
All right, so this is Buddy the Bruiser. I'm fucking out. We'll see you next week.
Dynamite Jared Latchey. I'm signing off, and we'll see you next week.